All right, we're now live on Instagram Live. Great, great. Welcome to another time here at the book club. It's going to be our last session for the year 2023. We're going to take a break the next two Sundays. And I'll be back on the 7th of January, which will be the first Sunday in the year 2024. So looking forward to a great year 2024. It's been a great year. 2023. Next year is going to be a greater year. Thanks for all of you that come along in the year 2023. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. We're just going to keep getting better, So I'm looking forward to 2024. Since July, beginning of July, we've been reading through our sixth book in the series, The Good Life. It's a book that was released January of this year also, and it's a compilation of a study on what makes for a good life, which was done by Harvard School on Adult Development. So they looked at adult developmental period and asked the question, what makes for a good life, right? What makes for the longevity and what makes for the width? What makes for the longevity and the width, So they've pretty much done a real life study for more than 85 years now, and they've come up with some conclusions, and that's what it's here in the book. The conclusion in the book pretty much is the fact that it is relationship, right? To have a good life, longevity, width. It's about the relationships we have in our lives, the number of vital relationships that we have, and the quality of those relationships. So as much as that is a conclusion, we've been helping ourselves to walk through the relationships in our life. We've been helping ourselves to help to hold the engine for relationships in our life. So we've talked about social fitness, which is our ability or our propensity to form new relationships and to maintain existing ones. We've talked about social universe, different people you get to relate to it. We've talked about social integration. You pretty much getting into the fabric of your social universe. Here, last week we closed on talking about giving attention to the relationships in our life, and last week we talked about mindfulness, consciousness, awareness. You can't have relationship, ones that make sense, ones that will be a blessing to you, ones that will increase you, ones that will make it come alive. If you are not mindful, if you're not aware, if you're not conscious, if you're not active, if you're passive with life, you only have seeming associates, not friends, right? To have vital relationships that will sustain you through life, you need to actively engage life, actively engage the people in your life. It's not going to happen by chance. It's going to happen because you decided to, right? You decided to go into those relationships and be a blessing in those relationships. Because for them to be a blessing to you, you have to be a blessing in them also. Life works by sowing and reaping. What you sow is what you reap. Today we're going to be talking about facing the music of life, because the truth about life is that the same things, the same relationships that give us life can also kill us. Because when you go into a place of relationship, your nerves are open, right? When you relate to people, they get to know you. They can either use that's what they know to bless you or to hurt you, right? And we cannot avoid the fact that life comes with its pain. Life comes with its issues, right? And it's not for us to run away from it, because when we run away from it, we'll not get the beauty of life. It's for us to face it, because the same place where beauty comes from is where ugliness comes from. The same place where pleasure comes from is where pain comes from. We cannot for the for the sake of one, avoid the other. If we want to avoid pain, we will never have pleasure. If we want to avoid ugliness, we'll never have beauty. If we want to avoid the negatives, we'll never have the positives. Life is made of all of them, and our mastery of life is our ability to triumph in spite of them all, right? We have to be able to go through the negatives to get the positive, go through the ugliness to get the beauty, right? Go through the pain to get the pleasure, right? That's what life is, So that's what we're going to be talking about this today. And the first Sunday of the new year on the 7th, we'll pretty much close out that with those two. Today, we're pretty going to introduce it. Next week, we'll talk about how to engage, life, through those issues of life, people get a divorce because they run away from engaging, facing the issues of their life. I've seen people be married for 25 years or more, and get divorced after that because they did not address the issues of their life. They were not facing the music of the issues of their life. Rather, they were patching things up. They patched it until they could patch it no more. But then they built a monster. That monster ain't gonna go away, right? A monster you built for 25 years won't go away in a jiffy. It's gonna take a while to heal from that wound, right? But it's possible. You just have to be willing to go through what it takes to heal the wound, But before I steal all the thunder away from our time together today, I'm gonna bring up my slide like I always do, and we're gonna run through what we have to talk about today, which is pretty much chapter 6 of our book, The Good Life, facing the music of life, facing life as it is, not necessarily as you want it to be, but as it is. You have to face it as it is, or it can be what you want it to be. Let's go. We're here talking about in chapter 6, and the title is Facing the Music, Facing Life, Leaning into Life, right? Life is lived to its optimum by leaning into it. You have to face life to enjoy life. You don't run away from life. What you run away from, you're always going to run away from. What you face, you get to defeat, right? The coward dies many times, but the bold, the courageous, the brave die only once. They get the benefit of living before they do. You got to be one. That's why you're here. You're not here to be passive. You're here to live and live life to the optimum, right? All righty. So the quote that we're going to carry this chapter with is, there is a crack, a crack in everything. Where in our scripture, the Bible says that God puts his treasure in earthen vessels. Scripture doesn't have this, but the truth about those earthen vessels is that they are broken vessels with patches. They're not just earthen vessels without any breaks. They're broken vessels. We all get nobody has a smooth in life. Anybody that has a smooth in life is dead, not alive. The way life is, you're going to have rough edges in life. That's the only way to climb up the mountain. If the side of the mountain that is smooth, you can't climb up that mountain. You can't live a life that is smooth all the way, because if you do, there'll be parts of your life that you're not using. And there's something called the law of the law of use, right? What you don't use, you lose. Right? What you don't use, you lose. Right? So life engages us, so we can use the different faculties of our life so that they can be exercised and get better. And that's the essence of evolution, right? If you don't get to use and build and develop the different faculties of your life, you will not be able to face the challenges of life. You will die before your time, right? Life is such that when we engage it, we build strength, which keeps us alive, which gives us a longevity and the weight of life. Life is not meant to be a smooth ride without challenges. Let no one deceive you. Someone is praying for you that you will not have challenges. That person doesn't like you, because without challenges, you're not going to grow strong. You're not going to be strong enough to face the coming storm of life. You know, scripture, the Holy Book says that if your strength fails you in the day of adversity, it's not the adversity, there's a problem. It's your strength that is not strong. Your strength is what you don't have. You're weak, right? That means you are expected to have built the strength for the adversity that comes your way, right? It's not, it didn't say that if the adversity will come. It says in that day, there is a day of adversity for every single one. There's no one that lives this life without a day of adversity. So if your pastor or whoever is deceiving you and praying for you that the adversity won't come, that person doesn't like you. That person is telling you to build your house upon the sand, right? Life in needs requires that you build your house upon the rock, because the storm will come. There's a day of the storm and it will come. It's not a cause. It's the way God has ordained things to be. It's the way the universe is set. It's not whether the storm will come or not. It's whether you are building your house on the rock or on the sand. It's not whether the day of adversity will come or not. It's whether you'll be ready when it comes, right? We don't determine the day the storm will come. We don't determine the day of adversity, but we do determine the foundation we build our house upon. We do determine the strength that we have that will face the adversity when it comes. That is within our control. So that's why I would say you prepare for war in the time of peace. Don't let your time of peace go to waste. Every day is a day to build strength, because that strength will be tested. That strength will be tested. The storm is coming, right? It's not a cost. The storm will come. And the only thing that will keep you is the foundation that you have or you don't have. The only thing that will keep you is your strength that you have built, is the knowledge you have gained, is the wisdom you have acquired, is the understanding that you have, is the largeness of heart that you have built, right? That's what's going to keep you, because the day of adversity would come, right? So there's beauty, the beauty of life is in our brokenness and our humanity, right? We're made hurting vessels, broken hurting vessels, we'll get to be patched up, you know. And sometimes some people feel that they are the ones, they have the worst end of the stick, and they try to hide it away. They try to be who they are not. You're not going to enjoy this life by trying to be who you are not. It's called pride, and the Bible says, God would stand against those that are prideful. But to the humble, he gives strength, he gives grace, right? Life is meant to be lived, authentically, with authenticity and vulnerability. You are the strength in being vulnerable. You are who you are. You are who you are, right? You are who you are. And who you are does not make you less. You are just who you are, and you are okay. You are who you are, and you are okay. You might not be where you want to be, right? You might not be where you want to be, but you're on your journey there. But to move the next step, you have to recognize where you are today. Because where you are today is a step that will take you to the next step that you're about to take. If that step is false, then you don't have a foundation to take the next step for where you are going, right? You are where you are, and it's okay. And you have to find peace where you are. You have to be authentically yourself, right? You have to accept your journey of life. You have to believe in the process, trust in the process, and it will work for you, right? The process is meant to help you, not to hinder you, right? But you have to find peace in it for it to work for you. That's what we mean when we say trust the process. Find your peace in the process of life, right? So relationships are key to not only navigating difficulties of life, both big and small, but in flourishing in the face of them, you know. So relationships help us, to navigate, through the different issues of our life, but relations themselves, we need to, will also try us, test us, because and by that build strength in our life, right? The way we will find our peace with the different relationships in our life helps to build strength in us, make us who God has designed us to be, and also prepares the relationship to help us in the issues of our life, right? All right. So there are two pillars of happiness. One is love, right? Yeah, when you have love, it helps you. Really, you get how we deal with challenges, you know, often defines the course of our life. How we deal with challenges of life, it determines whether our life gets better, doesn't get better, whether we're moving forward or we're moving backwards. You know, recently for me, 2016 was kind of pivotal, as I changed location, work location, and uh though I faced challenges, and looking back, I probably did not respond as well as I should, and I got the result of my reacting, you know. Uh, I had not built the strength that I was expected to have built, at that point in time. It wasn't a circumstance that I created, but it was just life. Life happened, right? Just like we said earlier on, the storms of life will come. Uh, the idea of adversity would come. What you get out of that, whether it's going to be a promotion or a demotion, is based on where did you build your house? Did you build your house? What foundation do you have? What strength do you have? Sad to say, I'm going to say that coming from the challenges from 2016, it was a demotion for me. I wasn't ready. I didn't have the right foundation, even though I'm supposed to be matured, right? If I'm going to be sincere with you, I failed that test. So everything I'm doing right now, is to make corrections to all of that. The sum total of all of that was I failed, right? I didn't respond the way I should have to that challenge of life that came from that period, you know. So I'm telling you my life. I'm telling you what my pain of life. I didn't do well then, but everything I'm doing today is to correct that. I'm building my foundation, what I didn't have. Not that I didn't have foundation. It wasn't just the right foundation for the storm that came, right? Not as if I didn't have strength. I had strength, but it wasn't the strength for the day of adversity that came, right? So I'm learning from my mistake, and I'm being authentic, I'm being vulnerable. I'm learning all that I can learn, and spending my time. I'm giving my heart to be diligent to acquire, to listen, to learn, to grow. Right? Yes, 2016, I made it. I fell flat on my face, but I still have life in front of me, right? And I'm going to do better, you know. As I have a lot of years in front of me, I can't do anything about yesterday. I can't do anything about 2016. I can't do anything about 2017. I can't do anything about 2018. I can't do anything about 2019. I can't do anything about 2020. I can't do anything about 2021. I can't do anything about 2022, right? I can't do anything about 2023 that's going to end very soon, but I can do everything about the remaining days here of 2023 and 2024 to come. And that's where I'm putting my energy. I'm putting my energy on others. I'm putting my energy on the things I can make effect, right? I'm learning from my yesterday, but I'm putting my energy changes today, to prepare for my tomorrow, my today and my tomorrow, right? So